to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you are out and about, wherever you might be, anywhere in the world, and you're not able to just watch it, sit and watch it live, you can listen to it while you're doing what you're doing, what you're doing, what you're doing. You can sit and listen to it. I mean, you can do what you're doing and listen to it by calling the TalkStream listen line at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and Cozy.TV, cozy.tv/JLP. And a quick reminder to get your donate and have your comments read out loud. You can go to Bond JLP on Cash App, Bond, BOND, JLP on Cash App, and buymeacoffee.com on /JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. So, and there is a line open if someone want to jump in there at 888-77-53773, 888-77-JESSE. So, yesterday fellowship, amazing. It was amazing. We have people from around the world, all the way from the Netherlands. Amazing. The truth is the same around the world, and the lie is the same around the world. It's just the same. But in your mind, you think it's different. You don't realize that all thoughts are all lies all the time. Week before last, we had a young lady who happened to be black from the Netherlands as well. She was there yesterday again. And we dealt with what is the state of your mind. What is the state of your mind? Well, it was interesting, very much, if I have to say so myself. You can podcast it if you missed it. Believe me, you want to hear that one. We dealt with what I titled All for the Thrill of It. All for the thrill of it. It was a very enlightening discussion. And if you want to know the truth, it will cause you, and not it, but the Spirit of the Father that's in you, right? Not the message itself, but it will cause you to pay attention to yourself. And when you pay attention to yourself, it's going to blow your mind. Really. It's going to blow it out of the water. Out of the waters. So I have a brand new biblical question for this week. Brand new. And this is another doozy. And again, these biblical questions are set up to encourage you as an individual to know thyself. Most people don't. 99.9% of people do not know themselves. They know about the false self, but they don't know the real self. And they're suffering like 90 going nuts in that false nature, thinking that is them. And some people, if you tell them, no, it's not you. They love being that person. They love all for the thrill of it. They love it. They love the thrill. They love the thrill of it. Check out yesterday. You're going to see you love the thrill of living a false life within yourself. And you do things to keep the thrills and then you call it life. You call the thrill life. So you call it death life. And as a result of doing that, you won't die from it so you can have life. You must die from a false life in order to have a real life. You must die from the ego. The all for the thrill of it life must go. And it can and it will if you wanted to. It really, really will if you wanted to. But if you love your thrills, keep it and just suffer. God is not going to impose anything on you. His son Jesus is not going to impose anything on you, and neither will I. It's not personal. That's what you love. You love your thrills. You love your hell, and you call it life. Keep it. It's up to you. A brand new biblical question. Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? Do you know any? Hassan, do you know any?
Almost everyone.
You know you know unfortunate or disadvantaged people?
Yes, sir.
And what do you mean by that?
People with just anger and fear and doubt. They're unfortunate.
Amazing. Well, I appreciate that. That's the biblical question. How is your dog?
He's doing well. He's got a new little unicorn costume going on. But
You bought him a new costume?
well, someone made something for me, and there was like these other parts, so we kind of gave him a little superhero outfit. What he's wearing, it's kind of like a cape. So when he's not wearing it, he's just Sandy. But when he puts on the cape, he's Sandman.
Poor dog. Somebody texted me and said, Jesse, stop talking about the dogs and that people, something like, I forgot how it went, that people people have the wrong relationship with their dogs. They don't want me to say that. Isn't that amazing? Anyway.
Yeah, yesterday when you were talking about putting the dog in the pumpkin suit and all this stuff.
But I see them in all kinds of clothes.
Yeah.
Women have them in look like ballet clothes. And I see people pushing dogs in baby strollers, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
And not just your dog, believe me.
But when you were talking about it, definitely threw me back to this throwback.
Poor dog. The dog like, somebody save me.
Halloween season.
Oh, man.
Mess.
What is your state of mind? Amazing.
He's disadvantaged.
That's for sure. That dog needs somebody to come save him. It's a boy, right?
Yeah.
He needs someone to come save him. Anyway, I want to remind you that our battle is a spiritual battle, a warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong. It's not physical at all, not one iota, because it's the spirit of evil. And for those who have overcome, the spirit of good that works through the person. And for those who don't believe it, I wish you well. I really, really do. Stay in your life of thrills and see how far that gets you. Make sure you check out yesterday's fellowship at rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. So whenever I watch the news, which I do now just on one channel, I just don't believe and only one person on one channel. But what I notice is that things out there in the world through people, because evil is real, right? Evil is real, and the heart of human beings, until they overcome anger and is that of love, is pure wickedness. It's evil. You're going to be shocked when you wake up and see how wicked the world is today, how evil human beings truly are. And when someone tells you human beings are good, they're lying to you. Human beings are evil until they change from anger to love. And not emotional love. Real love is a dispassionate love, right? And so what I've noticed is that in every area of life, they're taking men out and replacing them with women. They're deliberately doing it in order to make sure to seal the death of mankind, to make sure that the country never returns to normal. And so they're putting all these women in charge in all of the places. So they're putting in all the wrong people in all the right places to make sure that the country never returns. It's deliberate. It's not by accident. It's not that they don't know what they're doing. It's deliberate. I noticed that and this is with conservative and liberal news, right? Whatever. Businesses or whatever. They're always promoting women now. As truck drivers, farmers, no matter what type of job it is, mechanic. There are a lot of tradesman jobs out there where men, those jobs were created for men because they're tough jobs, right? Building, construction, and all that. They are made for men. But they're now, the evil people are now pushing men away from tradesman jobs to give them to women. The infrastructure is going to fall apart. I don't care. A woman cannot do a man's job. Now, you can tell yourself she can and lie to yourself and feel good about lying to yourself, but that's all that is. Reality is you can train her and put her there like a monkey. A monkey will dance for you, but the monkey can't really dance. So you can put these women in these tradesman jobs, but it's not going to work. They'll nail it together, but it will not stay. It won't hold. I want to encourage the men, y'all need to get up and forget about stupid colleges and all that crap. It's a setup. And go back out in the world and get tradesman jobs. Become a plumber, a contractor, a truck driver, digging ditches, and all that kind of stuff. You earn a living that's beyond your understanding. And you function in the world in a natural way, in the way that you were created to function. Your hands were made to build. Not to sit at home and be a babysitter or cook or dishwasher and all that. That was made for your wife, not for you. It's just reality, and no one is telling you, and you're allowing the women to take over everything. You will live to regret it. You will. Some of you are already regretting it because you're not functioning. You're not functioning. You put women in our government, everything. So-called business women, CEO women. What a mess. It's a mess. It's evil. It is pure evil. And I've said it once, and I said it twice, 1,000 times, that the reason they're doing it because evil comes through the woman, right? And they know, the children of the lie know that they put these women in all these churches, run churches and everything, that only hell gonna come through, no love. Only hell. They know it, they're doing it, and they don't care. And if you speak up about it, they will attack you, call you names, and because you fear evil, you back down. I'm stunned at the number of people who fear evil. And some of the signs of fearing evil, you're afraid of what people think about you. You're afraid of what people are saying about you. You're afraid of what they would take away from you. You're afraid of this or that, what you're going to lose. You fear evil. Fear is not from God. It is from evil. You fear being alone. You fear standing alone. You fear love. You fear real love. You fear the love of God, and you love the hatred of evil, and you call that love. Most people fear the love of God. And the proof is God is trying to save them from fear, from evil, and they run from it. They run from it. Every time they try to catch up with them, they start shaking in their boots. Thoughts start racing in their heads because they fear good. They fear God. They fear salvation. So they run from it, run back into their hell and make up excuses. They blame others. But they love their thrills. You're going to regret, if you're not already regretting it, you're going to regret that you've allowed these women to take charge. It's not in their nature to lead. And the women who are waking up and overcoming that evil, they realize, you know what? I didn't know. I was deceived. And once they wake up, they see it's a horrible mistake to put women in charge. And these ladies who are waking up, they say, you know what? I don't want to be in charge. They love being who they were created to be. But the women that you put in charge, they hate being in charge, and they have a false love for it because they think that it's them, it's giving them a false sense of identity. May God have mercy on my country. Our government today is in a mess. It's in a mess because look who's running it. It's in a mess. I want to show you an example of what happens, and it's just one small example, but it's a big deal. What happens when women are in charge. And Post-Millennial is reporting the vice chair of Minnesota Democratic Party, who advocated for dismantling police, gets violently beaten and carjacked. Watch this from CBS.
A Progressive Party leader says she was violently carjacked at her home right in front of her young children. Shivanthi Shathanadhan posted this image of her bloody face. She says she suffered a broken leg and cuts and bruises after 4 young men held her up at her North Minneapolis home. She is the second vice chair of the state DFL party. On Facebook, she said law enforcement needs to, quote, catch these young people who are running wild, creating chaos across our city, and hold them in custody and prosecute them, period. Police recovered her stolen car, but no word on any arrests.
Amazing. So the very same female that was in support of dismantling the police department is now saying the police need to put them in jail, need to catch them and prosecute them. This is the same female that wanted to dismantle the police, and you want her in charge of your country. And I'm wondering out loud, did she think that she was protected from the criminals? We have a perfect quote from this story of this woman, whatever her name is. This is from the Post-Millennial. In June of 2020, this same female wrote in a post on Facebook, watch this.
We are going to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. Say it with me. Dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. As allies, what can we do right now? Listen and learn from our black siblings and then amplify this message right now. In this moment, MPD has systemically failed the black community. They have failed all of us. It's time to build a new infrastructure that works for all communities. If you are still disagreeing with that basic fact, I'm not sure what to say to you.
Amazing. Dismantle the police. And now she want the police to arrest. She been beat. You told Harpo to beat me. Now you want to listen to the blacks. I would encourage you, do what you want to overcome fear, because it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Here's a perfect quote. So remember, this is the same woman. What's her name, Sean? This is the same woman that want to dismantle the police. Now her butt got kicked. She want them back. The police need to arrest her. James, you know her name? Let me see that name up there, Hassan. You got it? The thing you just read. I don't know what that is. Is that a black name? Standan. Is Sharon out there?
What the?
Let me go and find out. I'm not getting in there. Hold on, I'll be right back. Shivanadhan, or whatever, right? But that's close. This stupid female wanted to dismantle Shivanadhan. That's good enough. What the? Is she black? Come on, man. Oh, she's Indian. Send that woman back to India. What the? See, I don't want these foreigners to control my country. Look what they do. The same asshole they were living over in their asshole countries, they bring them to our country and create a mess. She want to dismantle the police. Got the black folks this and the black folks that. If anyone doesn't agree with her, she doesn't know what to say to you. Now, according to this story, somebody beat her or robbed her or did something, attacked her. She got violently beaten and carjacked. And what does she say? The police need to arrest these people and prosecute them. How are they going to do it when they've been dismantled, dummy? Here is a perfect quote for this story. Watch this.
Everyone has a plan till they get punched in the mouth. Mike Tyson.
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. This woman had a plan until she got punched in the mouth. You still want women running your country? I've told you once, I've told you twice, I've told you 1,000 times. Every time you listen to the woman, you will suffer. Ain't no way around it. Now, you can lie to yourself and say it ain't true, it ain't so. It's so. You will suffer every time you listen to the woman. And speaking of saying it ain't so, according to WION News, Barack Obama, the fallen Messiah, I'm saying the fallen Messiah, it doesn't say fallen Messiah here. Barack Obama has been rallying Congress support for a candidate other than Joe Biden. Secret talks have started within the Democratic Party to convince former quote-unquote First Lady Big Mama Michelle, right? They don't say Big Mama Michelle, I do. Big Mama Michelle to run for president.
She knows she's still the boss.
Isn't that something? They want Big Mama Michelle to run for president. Buy America, it's over. I suggest those who want to be able to endure the world and overcome the world, you need to overcome what's happening inside your imagination. You need to stop loving the thrills of thoughts and emotions. Those things are evil. It is setting you up for a big fall. It is setting you up. And there's a storm coming. It's time to go home. There's a storm coming. Let's go home. Get ready, folks. The human heart is evil. The human heart is a murderer. And if you have anger, you are a murderer too. So murderers will be murdering murders, killing the hearts of human beings. Amazing. It's a spiritual battle, and the women are being used to usher in hell. It come right through the woman. Your mama and your grandmama, your sister and your aunts and your cousins, female cousins. 888-7753-773. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. 888-775-3773. Let me go to the busy phones here. Derek, a first-time caller out of North Carolina. Hey, Derek, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing this morning?
All is well, sir.
All right, man. I actually had two questions for you. The first question is how. I'm sorry, man. I've been a long time fan. I've been watching you for like the past year, man. You just crazy.
Amazing.
So I have the first question for you. How do you feel about, of course, you know, the Great White Hope. How do you feel about his indictment and what's going on with him right now?
In all honesty, I feel nothing about it. I have a wait-and-see attitude about it, and just to see what's going to happen, because I don't know what the outcome would be, but I do understand now how wicked the human heart is, and I know they're trying to stop him because they don't want him to really make America great again. But I'm waiting to see the outcome because I've noticed over the years that he's been on attack in a major way, and so far no one has been able to stop him. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, I like Trump, so I'm more of a DeSantis guy myself, but I could deal with Trump. Yeah, I like Ron. That's my dude.
Who would you prefer as president for now, Trump or DeSantis?
Oh, Trump. Sorry. Like DeSantis is good, but DeSantis just don't got the juice like Trump.
Right.
DeSantis he's a little softer than Trump. So I mean, I would rather go with Trump for right now.
Right on. And who do you? How are you feeling about the attack on the Great White Hope?
It's all bullshit. Well, bull crap. I'm sorry. It's bull crap now. I mean, it's I'm starting to see a lot, and of course, the black people starting to wake up. Like, man, they actually doing it wrong. Like, and I mean, it's sad that it took this long for them to realize it, but I mean, hey, better late than never, I guess.
Yeah. Also, that's the impact that Donald Trump has on human beings because he is such a good example of dealing with evil. It inspires others to want to do the same thing. So he has and is having a major effect for the good on some black people, a lot of black folks.
Oh, yeah, Trump don't play around. He don't bullshit. He don't sugarcoat nothing for nobody like a real man's supposed to do.
Yeah. And he's of love. That's what's most important, is that you're guided by love and not by hate.
Okay. I have one quick final question for you. You could say, I guess, a newborn Republican. I used to be a little liberal back in my day, but after a few years, you know, I've grown to be more Republican and conservative. I want to ask, how do you feel? I have a lot of, you know, family members and friends, you know, that don't really talk to me that much anymore, you should say, because of my newfound political view. And how would you say I should address that, you know, when they talk to me about it? You know, they're just like, oh, you trying to be the white man, trying to be white, and I'm just like, I'm just thinking for myself. I mean, I'm starting to see the light, basically. How would you go about that?
And I do have to deal with that a lot. Here's the secret. Don't be angry at them. They cannot see. Just don't be mad, and then you just tell the truth. Why you are a conservative Republican. And then if they don't like it, don't be mad at them for not liking it. You know, you just still speak the truth as you know it about why you are. And if they don't like it, that's on them. You can't do anything about that. And if they don't want to play with you anymore, okay, I wish you well. And just go live your life. You cannot convince another person of anything. They have to want to see the truth. And by you moving on without resenting them, one out of that whole group would see that, wow, he doesn't get mad at us for not disagreeing with him. He doesn't get mad at us for not wanting to play with him. What is it in that one the Spirit of God inside of you will have an impact on that one person out of the 10?
Amazing.
Yeah, just don't take it personally. They cannot see. You were blind, and I was blind at one time, but now you can see. And now you can understand why they were blind and they cannot see. So just don't hold it against them, but you still speak up for yourself.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk to some of my friends about it. I've actually had like a few friends actually said they want to fight me. Just because, I try to talk to them and they're like, man, no, like they get so angry and they're just like, man, I'll come to your job and beat your ass. I'm like,
wow.
Hey, I'm just trying to talk to you.
Yeah. Well, they're of their father, the devil. They cannot help it. So don't get angry at the devil. That's what the devil want you to do.
Okay.
And just stay calm and speak what you know to be true and let the chips fall where they may.
Amazing.
Oh, amazing.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. You have a blessed one, dog.
You too, buddy. Take care. 888-7753-773. There is a line open now. Russ out of Virginia. Russ, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Jesse?
All is well, sir.
I got two things I want to discuss with you.
Okay.
Number one, I was approached by somebody. And
Speak up a little bit, Russ.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to holler because I'm just a quiet, calm dude, so I'm sorry. Your caller said something to me about this, and I forgot to ask you whether I was speaking up enough. Can you hear me now, though? Everything's cool at
Oh, yeah.
this level?
You're doing fine.
Okay, well, thanks. I know you have a quality program, and I don't want to do anything to detract from your quality program. So I had a discussion with somebody, and they asked me about the Bible. And so they asked me, are you saying the Bible is a lie? And I'm like, well, if something says something happened and it's impossible, then either it's a lie or it's just wrong. And they were a Christian, and I'm not. And they got very upset with me. So I wanted to ask your opinion. Is the Bible a lie or is the Bible wrong? What is it? Because I've heard you say different things, a lot of different things.
Well, there are some things in the Bible that are not true, and then there are some things that's written in the Bible that is very true.
Okay. So, like, for example, the thing that I always bring up is in Adam and Eve, there's something in the Bible that says that a snake spoke to Eve. And I'm like, snakes can't speak. That's not true. That did not happen. And then the person I was talking to was like, God, I don't care who said it. It's impossible. So it didn't happen. And so they said, oh, so are you saying the Bible's a lie? Now, you can call the Bible whatever you want to call it. I'm just telling you that did not happen because that's impossible.
And why do you say it didn't happen and it is impossible?
Because in order for anything to speak, it has to have certain things in its body. They have to have vocal cords. They have to have this. They have to have that. Snakes don't have them, so they cannot speak. Just like, have you had a dog talk to you, Jesse? No. Why? Because dogs can't talk. So it's never going to happen.
You said dogs can't talk?
Dogs.
Oh, dog can't talk. And so you don't believe that the serpent spoke to Eve?
No, I know a serpent didn't speak to Eve. That's not possible. So, no, I know it.
And how do you know you're reading the right thing?
What am I misreading, though?
Who do you think is talking to you in your imagination? Who do you think speak to you in your thoughts?
I'm not talking about my thoughts. I'm talking about what the Bible says.
When your mouth
The
is not
Bible-
moving, and yet you hear voices in your imagination that sound like you, who is that? Who is that speaking?
No, Jesse, no. It's a lot more simple than that. I'm reading something that says a snake spoke to Eve.
Right.
That's all it is. I'm reading it.
When you
Nobody's
are
speaking
just
to
sitting
me.
around doing nothing, you're not reading, and your mouth is not moving. And you hear voices in your... Let me finish the question.
At the time,
Let me
I
finish
read
the Hey, let me finish the question. When you're sitting around doing nothing and you hear voices in your head, your mouth is not moving. Who is speaking?
I'm not hearing the voices in my head. What are you talking about? That's
Yes,
what I'm
you
trying
do.
to tell you.
You hear
I'm
your
not
own
hearing
voices.
voices in my head.
You never hear your own voice in your imagination, in your head.
I think about stuff.
Do you?
Is that what you're talking about?
Do you hear voices in your thinking?
No. I think about stuff sometimes.
Do you ever hear your own voice in your head?
No, Jesse.
You never
I
hear.
gotta tell you.
You never
no,
hear.
I think about stuff.
And how do you know you're thinking?
Because I'm doing it, and I know I'm doing it.
How do you
That's
know
how I
you're
know
doing
I'm
it?
thinking.
How do you know you're doing it?
That there's something in my past that I bring up in my mind, and I think about it. I'm thinking.
How do you
Just
know
like
you're
I'm
thinking of?
Just the way I know I'm breathing. It's the same thing, Dusty. What are you talking about, man? It's very simple.
In your thinking, do you hear voices reminding you of your past?
No. I think about things that happened in my past.
What I want to tell you, the voices that you hear in your head, it's the serpent, the voice of the serpent. That's the same
That's
voice.
not true.
That's the same
That's not
voice
true.
that spoke to. That's the same voice that spoke to Eve.
That's not true.
Okay, why do you say it's not true?
Because I went through a really, really rough, dangerous time in my life.
Why do you say
And
that's not
something
true
in my-
about the voices in your head?
I'm trying to tell you. I went through because you said all thoughts are lies. That's what you said. And so I'm telling you, I had a moment in my life when I was going to try to kill somebody.
You tell me that
And
every
I
time.
had them-
You tell me that every time you call. When will you drop that?
I'm trying to tell you. If you would, Jesse, can you just let me explain what I'm trying to tell you? One of those times when I reached out to somebody to kill them, and I physically had them in my arms, and I was going to kill them.
Why do you
Something
love?
in my
Why
mind-
do you love saying that?
Can I finish? Can I just finish, please?
I know, but every time you have the same story.
But no, this is
Where will
I'm
you-
trying. This
Where will you
this
move
is
away
the best
from that
example
story?
of me telling you something in my mind said, "Yo, man, stop." So when you say that anytime you have a thought in your mind, it's evil, that thought in my mind at that moment was not evil. That was the right thing to think. That was the right thing to change my attitude, to stop what I was doing. That was not evil. That was the right thing to do.
So why didn't it
from
change?
doing evil?
If that's true, which is not, but if it's true, why didn't your attitude change?
Because I thought about what I was doing, and I realized I was doing the wrong thing.
But why do
That's
you still have the same attitude then?
Because I can't change myself.
Why not?
1000%. I'm trying to.
If you stop listening to the serpent in your imagination, you will change.
You know, you're saying things like this, and I can say something totally different. In that, if God wanted to help me, God would come to me, God would talk to me, and God would fix it. But He's not, so He doesn't care.
So what now?
So that's why I'm not trying
slow
no
down,
more.
Russ, slow down. You said what about God?
You could say in all this, I'm seeking out God. Is God coming to me to help me see Him? I'm not asking God to make me a millionaire or nothing like that. I'm asking God to let me see Him, let me know Him, let me accept His word. That's what I'm trying. Does He? No. Well, so here's the thing. Why is it? It's probably one of two things. Either He don't care or He don't exist. And to me, He don't exist, so I ain't looking no more. I'm not trying it no more. I'm done. It don't exist. I accept that now.
Russ, how are you feeling saying this right now? What's the thrill of saying what you're saying?
There is no thrill. I'm just telling you what I've decided.
If there is no thrill, why make that decision?
This is not the reason why I called you for. This is where the conversation.
I just told you about the voice of the devil.
I didn't call you for that.
I told you the same voice you hear in your head when you're not talking. It's the same voice that talked to Eve. It's the same identical.
You keep saying voice. I don't hear voices.
Yes, you do. You hear your own voice.
That, but you don't listen to that.
You do hear your voices in your head.
I do not hear voices in my head.
Yes, you do. Who do you think taught you out of believing in God?
Life.
Life taught you out of believing in God?
Yes. Just like life taught me out of believing in Santa Claus. Just like life took me out of believing in the tooth fairy. The same thing.
All right. Russ, thanks for your call, buddy. Stay in your hell and just enjoy the thrill of your hell. Enjoy yelling that God is not helping you, so He doesn't exist. Just love your hell, man.
I said it was one of two things. Either He didn't exist or He doesn't care. Either way, He's not helping me. I'm seeking Him out. I was. Not now, because I know it's futile.
Okay.
That's what happened. So I stopped trying. At some point in time, when you try to do things and it's not working out, you stop trying because it's not going to work. I've tried everything I can try.
Why don't you just stop trying, but don't say it's not going to work? Can't you stop trying, but don't add to it it's not going to work? Because you're condemned by your own words.
Okay, well, listen, if I stop saying it,
right,
and I stop trying, then I'm still living the way I'm living, so there's no difference between what I'm doing now.
Why don't you let that go, give it a try, stop trying, but don't say it's not going to work. Just stop trying and see what happens.
I'm doing the same thing I was doing before.
Stop trying, but don't say it's not going to work and see what happens. Because if you believe it's not going to work, it's not going to work. But if you neither believe that it will work or won't work,
no.
If you neither believe that it will work or won't work,
I don't fixate on that. I'm just saying that I'm not trying no more.
Speaking in tongue.
So I'm not changing my attitude. I'm not changing my behavior.
If you don't believe it won't work, then you would have to believe it will work. If you never say it's not going to work, you never will believe that it won't work. If you don't say it will work, then you don't have to believe it won't work. Don't say either one. Just stop trying and see what happens. Is that so hard to do?
No, that's what I'm just trying to tell you. I'm still living my life the same way. Just because I'm explaining to you is because we're talking about it.
I'm telling you something different now.
I don't run around to everybody and tell people this. I'm just saying this because we're talking about it.
I'm telling you now. I'm suggesting to you now.
I wouldn't say nothing about this.
I'm suggesting to you now, stop trying, but do not say it will or will not work. Just stop trying and see what happens. All right?
Well, why don't you answer my question? Why
I'm just
doesn't
asking you a
God-
question. The
Whoa.
voice of the voice that Eve.
Well, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've been trying, and because I've been researching, and I've been listening to God's word and the Bible and all that kind of stuff, I'm at the point to where I feel like, okay, I'm an atheist. So I'm not saying God does not exist. That's not what I'm saying. I don't know. But in life, you hear of things, and it's up to you to either believe it or disbelieve it. That's just human nature. So, like, if you hear a story on TV...
Russ, I got to run, but let me tell you this. You're never going to know God by reading the Bible, and you're never going to know God by believing. It's not going to happen.
But here's the thing I'm trying to say to you.
Did you hear what I just said?
I heard what you said, but what did I say? To you is,
what did I say?
You said, I'm never going to know God if I seek God out and I try.
That's not what I said. I said you're never going to know God, but you make a good point with that. But you're never going to know God by reading the Bible or whatever I just said.
Okay, but here's the thing, though.
What?
The information that I know, even if God is real, I'm not going to worship God because of what I know.
You're never going to know God by believing or reading the Bible. It's not going to happen.
No. Okay, well, that's fine. But even if God is real, I'm not going to worship him because what I know is horrible.
All right, we're living your hell. I got to run, buddy. Thank you. The time won't permit longer. Thank you, Russ. Call me again. Super chat. Super.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Super Chatters.
Good morning, y'all.
Morning.
Good morning, Hake.
Good morning, Hake.
I don't know if we read this one on Friday.
H-A-K-E.
Yep. House bought a coffee saying, "Love you, Jesse. You're the man." Shout out, Jimbo Zoomer.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Okay.
But thank you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kev Fisher bought a coffee. Jesse, I agree with you about how most blacks act. Not all, but most. But most. Get the t-shirt. Rebuildingtheman.com/stores. I do think, though, it's more of a culture now instead of race. I have my own delivery service, and when I go to Atlanta, I see all colors with buffoonery and shenanigans at all ages. The get rich quick scheming, not wanting to work more than an hour a day type people making Atlanta a mess. I've had white women and hillbillies try to scam me on the street corner and off the highway exits more and more when it was just blacks in the past. What the? Hashtag still trying to get Jesse to Georgia.
What the?
Georgia, on my mind. I agree that, it's interesting that I'm starting to see more and more white people, Hispanic people, others who are acting like the blacks. And it's because they become angry at the blacks.
Out.
Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. Hurricane Lee, earthquake in Morocco. Rest in peace to the 2,100 plus. And Trump persecution is touching Lindsey Graham, maybe? Whoa. And nervous Nancy Pelosi, I thought she was out of there, but she's running for re-election? This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Monday. Everybody loves Mondays. September 11th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour two. Jesse Lee will be right back to the rest of your Super Chats and the calls. The lines are full, guys. He will get right back to you, but first, Hake news, not fake news. Hurricane Lee, coming on Sense Network CNN reports, Hurricane Lee is fluctuating in intensity over the Atlantic Ocean, and its effects may soon be felt at beaches up and down the East Coast if it hasn't already. The storm's pressure will weaken in coming days, so say meteorologists, but some states could still experience coastal flooding and dangerous rip currents. So, stay afloat if you go out there swimming in the beach, but probably don't recommend it. And swim parallel to the shore or whatever, and eventually you'll get out of it. Be patient. Earthquake in Morocco on Friday. Rescuers in Morocco were searching, according to CNN, for survivors in Friday's devastating earthquake, which left more than 2,100 people dead. The epicenter of the 6.8 magnitude quake, pretty big, left remote villages in the foothills of the Atlas Mountains completely in ruins. Eyewitnesses in the region say entire towns have been destroyed. Almost all the homes in an area of the village of Azni damaged. In Marrakech, the nearest major city, many residents spent a night sleeping on the streets on Sunday, too afraid to return to their homes. It's a popular tourist destination. Death toll is still expected to rise. It's a North African country, Morocco is. And that's the most powerful earthquake there in more than 100 years. The hardest hit were poor and rural villages about 45 miles south of Marrakech. Many historic buildings were destroyed, including part of a 12th century mosque. Wow. People are reportedly without power, phone, or internet. Many remain homeless, while others fear additional aftershocks. Morocco's King Mohammed VI declared 3 days of mourning. The army arranged search and rescue teams, but many criticized their efforts as too slow and unorganized. Meanwhile, several countries, including the United States, have offered to support humanitarian and medical assistance. Survivors of Morocco's deadly earthquake are struggling to find food, water, shelter as the search and rescue team efforts continue, and many are wondering how long they'll have to wait. And that's according to the Skim as well as Common Nonsense Network. Lord have mercy. Trump persecution touches Lindsey Graham. The far-left females at the Skim reported Sunday that the special grand jury in Fulton County investigating the 2020 presidential election in Georgia recommended charges against Rhino Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina and former GOP Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, oh, I remember her, of Georgia. She's kind of a grandstander gal, supposedly pro-Trump. They were not among those 19 who were charged, Trump plus 18 others. Wow. And the nervous Nancy who could. Former House Speaker nervous Nancy Pelosi, who's age 83, according to the far-left females of the Skim, will run for re-election in the U.S. House next November. The California Democrat announced. Pelosi has been a trailblazer for women in politics throughout her career, according to the Skim, but a prominent target also of Republican criticism. Isn't that funny? And Chin Up King, based kisser, has resigned. Common Nonsense Network CNN reports Luis Rubiales resigns as Spanish soccer president amid the kiss controversy. His departure follows a week of fierce criticism for a supposedly unwanted kiss on World Cup winner Jennifer Hermoso. Was she hermosa? So he resigned. He was the Spanish Soccer Federation president. He announced it in a Piers Morgan interview. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
Somewhere in the world today, had to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. Brand new biblical question. Brand new biblical question. Listen up. It's a doozy. Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? I see white people. That's the biblical question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. If you're out and about anywhere around the world, and if you're a flat earther, up and down the world, you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793 on your iPhone or iPad. Isn't that nice? And you can still do what you're doing, whatever it might be. Picking cotton, riding a horse, walking the dog. Walking the dog. Remember the song, Walking the Dog? You, Hassan?
No, I need to hear it immediately.
There's a song back in the 70s, I guess, maybe, 70s, called Walking the Dog. But anyway, you can, you can listen to it on your iPhone, iPad at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk, on Twitter and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. JLP Talk on Twitter and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe, and all that. And don't forget to donate and have your comments read out loud. Go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, or Bond JLP app. I mean on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. I want to finish up the super chat we started on before we ran out of time there in the first hour, then get back to your phone calls. So, Hake, hit it.
Super chats.
You were responding after this Kev Fisher guy bought that coffee, talking about trying to get Jesse to Georgia and seeing whites and blacks, all races and ages, acting up.
I have noticed that whites and other races are starting to act like the blacks. Not all, but most. They're dancing, they're fighting, they're not speaking well anymore. They're relying on the government. And I wonder why are they changing like that? But they become angry because all races are angry at the blacks now. Nobody likes the blacks. And because they're becoming angry at the blacks, they're starting to act like the blacks. It's unfortunate, but that's what's going on. I want my country back, but there are all kinds of proof that it's never coming back. But you can be fine. And so it's still a spiritual thing. It's still spiritual, even though they're acting like the blacks. And not all blacks are like that. Not all, but some. But most. And but it's because they're mad at the blacks now. They don't understand they need to deal with what's happening without being angry about what happens. Overcome evil with good. Stay conscious. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Evgeny Crosby with a diamond. Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, even when he's late. Amazing.
Nah, he black. We were late yesterday because the computer system or whatever they were using just died out. It just stopped. And they couldn't make it go. It reminded me of a mule. You ever been plowing a mule in the field or hauling wood, have the mule hooked up to the wagon and hauling wood, and all of a sudden the mule just stopped.
What the?
You're like, what the? And you start beating the mule with the thing, and you still won't move. What the? And the mule would not move until it is ready. That's how the system did yesterday. It decided, I'm tired.
The computer was being stubborn as a mule.
I'm telling you. I'm staying and you gonna love me. I ain't going nowhere.
Nick, the anchor baby, has experienced that. Against the better advice, he rode the mule when he was told not to, and the mule got tired and stubborn.
It just stopped. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. So that's what happened yesterday. It was like a mule, a stubborn mule. I remember Nick telling that story about the mule.
Yeah. He retold it relatively recently. I forgot about it.
The anchor baby. Check out the anchor baby every day at 12 noon.
Meaning he knew that the computer was on the fritz but still push it, or literally a mule?
A real mule.
Oh.
Yeah.
A little mule.
Oh, I got lost in the analogy.
Amazing. Thank you.
Greenwald with the diamond. The Pope ticked watching church with JLP.
The Pope is ticked. Take your hand off me.
He's slapping his hand like the Pope slapped that Asian lady's hand. Was it an Asian?
The lady was Asian. The lady was like worshiping the Pope. And he got ticked.
Terrible.
I saw an interesting movie yesterday about the coal miner's daughter. I think they were called coal miner's daughter. This woman grew up in Kentucky somewhere, but she was a coal miner's daughter, and she became a famous singer, country and western singer. And when she first met her husband, she used to listen to her husband. And even though it was funny too, they act like country people. It reminded me of life. They were fussing and arguing, but she still would listen to her husband. And then as she became famous, she met another woman that was a famous country western singer. And this woman eventually, according to the story, was killed in an airplane or something like that. And when she met this woman, she was so into this woman, her hero, Patsy Cline or something like that.
Hey, I was going to guess Patsy Cline.
Yeah. And she met and coal miner's daughter met Patsy Cline at some point. And she worshiped Patsy Cline because Patsy Cline was known and popular, a real singer.
Yeah.
A real good country western singer. And so this woman was so into Patsy Cline that she stopped listening to her husband.
Whoa.
Her husband told her not to wear makeup, the coal miner's daughter. And for a while, she wouldn't wear it because she was pretty without the makeup. But she met Patsy Cline, I think it was Patsy Cline. And Patsy Cline wore makeup and all kinds of stuff. And this woman started doing it. And when her husband said, take it off, she's like, no, I'm doing what I want. I was like, wow, it's interesting is that she started to worship Patsy Cline and disobeyed her husband. And her life became hell.
Wow.
She became tired and irritated and angry and couldn't get any rest because she turned away from her husband toward the serpent.
Wow.
It was amazing. Have you ever seen that with her son?
About Loretta Lynn?
I have not.
Yeah. Loretta.
Coal miner's daughter.
Yeah.
Is it a true story or is it fictionalized?
It appears to be true, but I don't know if they added fiction in it. I don't know
They
if
might
said-
have.
I
It's a
don't know if
movie from 1980.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, but it sure seemed true.
IMDb calls it fictionalized life,
It may have been,
but it's also sort of biographical, I guess, because she was a real person.
she was a real lady. She grew up as a coal miner's daughter.
She died just in 2022, October,
Oh, yeah?
age 90.
Nice.
Not too bad.
But it was interesting. It was an interesting story. And it was about real life. It's about what happens when a woman stops listening to her husband
Yeah.
or when you make somebody else your God.
Her husband died in 1996, but they were supposedly married from 1948 to 1996.
Yeah, it definitely didn't end with a divorce
Yeah.
in the movie.
6 children.
Yeah. They had babies like nothing going on. She got married to him when she was 14, I believe.
Whoa. Yeah, she's 19, born in 1932, married at 1948. So
14.
15, 16?
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And in the good old days, women got married at that age.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. I want my country back. Anyway, thank you. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay, Piotr Robel bought 5 coffees. Thank you, Jesse and the team, for the best fellowship on this side of heaven. Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you.
Malachi bought 2 coffees. Jesse, I watched your sermon on Sunday about the thrill, and wow, it changed everything. I thought my job was to be a messenger of God and join the Marines and do all these epic things, and now I realize that it was all thrill. I even knew it deep down while doing these things that I was only doing them for myself, not the nobleness. But I crave the thrill, Jesse.
Yeah.
Perhaps because it's all I've ever known. It feels familiar, and being at peace with God makes me feel so foreign, disconnected, different, and most importantly, scared. I tried the silent prayer twice a day, but I was only doing that for the thrill of being able to see people's demons. I don't know how to properly do this silent prayer or any other things that would help this ego die. I don't want to crave the thrill, Jesse, but I'm like Michelle Obama, addicted to her ribs.
Oh, God. Just do it without any expectation. No expectation. And the fear of dying, I understand it. The fear that you have of dying from the ego is not your fear. That is the fear of the ego dying. It doesn't want to die. It doesn't want to depart from you. And just let everything go. All expectation. Have no expectation. And just do it. And you'll see. It'll be amazing. And that fear, again, is not you. It's the ego fear of dying. And a lot of people think that they are losing themselves when they lose the ego. But when you lose the ego, you're finding yourself. You really are the true self. So stay with it and don't worry about it. It's amazing.
Michelle, the rock of the Obama family.
Yeah, right.
So,
Thank you.
Soul Conscious bought 10 coffees. Jesse, I have never thought about thrill seeking, but I see it every day. Church was deep. Thank you.
I want you to watch the thrills in you and just watch them and let them pass. And then you're going to also start naturally seeing them in other people. And I want you to watch how when someone try to make you feel good or make you feel bad, try to hurt you, watch the thrill in them. Especially those who say they believe in God, that they're Christian. Watch the thrill that they get from trying to hurt someone. It's all thrill, but they think it's God. They think it's natural, but it's evil. It's so interesting. And once you see the thrill in yourself, you have no other choice but to overcome them. Once you see them, they will be destroyed. All right? It's amazing. The devil is about thrill, not God. Amazing. Thank you.
Elise Aurelian. Man, I forgot how to pronounce it. Bought a coffee. Have a great week, Jesse and crew. The more and more I go out in the world, I don't feel alone. I kind of know that I am, but it's nice to see it. He
Nice.
says.
Thank you. Amazing.
J-Dog bought a coffee. I own my own property, house, and car, and I have no bills. I don't plan on having any children. I believe my life's purpose is to try to provide food for starving orphans in poor parts of the world, or to provide medical care for children who have life-threatening disabilities. I will never give money to a homeless man or any adult. I only care about helping children. I'd like to know your thoughts on this, JLP.
Amazing. I don't know. It doesn't sound good. It sounds like a thrill, but you need to see that. If you're feeling something about it, if you feel good about it or you feel bad about it, then it's not from God. So you need to check your thrills and see when you're working, when the Spirit of the Father is working through you, there are no thrills about it because you cannot take credit for it. You know it's not you. Interesting. Thank you.
Nicole bought 3 coffees. If we have no will and are only influenced by good or evil, does that mean Satan has a will? That of evil? Are these the two wills that exist? Crazy face emoji, nerd face emoji. Thanks, JLP and team.
Absolutely the will of the devil. The devil has a will. That's why he makes you do what he wants you to do. He wants you to do. He makes you do what he wants you to do because his will is being done through you. And when he's gone, for those who want to overcome him, then the will of God take place and his will be done. It's amazing. Good, interesting, good question. Thank you.
Prep Ham Paul donated on Rumble, a Rumble rant. Nice.
You got to know how to rumble.
Teen was shot, so the female New Mexico governor declared a state emergency and claims that that allows her to supersede constitutional rights. Bans guns in Albuquerque. Get these women out!
Real fast. If you want to save the country, if you want to save the family. Thank you.
Someone bought 3 coffees. Jesse, what are your thoughts on your past guest, Jordan Peterson? I agree with a lot of things he says and does, but when I look closer, I see that he can be very emotional, which means he is of his father, the devil. Have you noticed how emotional he can be? What do you make of this? Does God use people in a fallen state to do his work? If evil is evil is evil, then that must mean Jordan Peterson is evil too.
I haven't really paid a lot of attention to him lately. I do know that he seemed to be emotional about some things, but I'm one of these days I want to interview him again so I can be honest in the way I see things. So I can't say right now because I haven't watched him. I haven't interviewed him lately, so I don't know. Amazing. Thank you.
And thank you guys. That is all for now.
Thank you all. I do appreciate it. James, real fast.
Yes.
Did Christ build a church anywhere?
Yes.
Where?
On the rock of Peter.
I mean, a physical church.
Just with the people.
But he never built churches.
No buildings. No, he didn't do church planting.
He just built spiritual churches.
Yeah.
Amazing, huh?
Yep.
And that's why they got mad or didn't believe, because he didn't physically, right?
Oh, I mean, some of them were mad because he didn't become the king of the Jews, a warrior king, to free them from the Romans.
Yeah, they were all looking for him to do these physical things. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But he only did the spiritual things.
Right.
He made him some wine, though.
Oh, a couple of super chats.
He did that physical.
He made some physical wine.
For mama.
No.
For mama.
That's right. Mama wanted to get drunk. He's like, son, can you make some more wine? Okay.
Can I read a last couple of super chats that I may have missed?
Oh, okay.
Greenwall with a diamond. What means path to heaven goes through hell? What's that mean?
Oh, you got to go through that ego death in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven. You must go through the ego death. You have once to die and once to live. So the pathway to heaven is through hell. And a lot of people don't want to go through the hell. They say it's too painful. It's too scary. But ain't no other way to heaven except through the hell. Through hell. Amazing. Thank you.
DJ on Paul, Jean Paul with a diamond. Happy 6-month anniversary of hate watching, Jeezy. Somebody, people hate watch, I guess. So isn't that nice? Thank you, guys. Now that's all for now.
Appreciate it. Amazing. Let me go to Josh. There's one line open, 888-775-3773. Josh out of Texas. Hey, Josh. Welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Josh.
I called you like a week ago.
Okay.
And we discussed like forgiveness and how it was hard for me to forgive my mother.
Uh-huh.
Well, I forgave her. Well, I went up to her and told her I forgive her.
Speak up, Josh.
Well, I went up to her and told her I forgive her.
Nice.
I did that. And I did feel like a relief when I got in the car.
Yeah.
But I feel like I still resent her. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't feel like the apology was sincere. Like I just did it because you said I need to, and I did it. But I don't feel like I really have forgiven.
And what is that feeling?
Well, like I see her every weekend, and when I see her, it's just like I don't want to hug her. I don't want to say, "Oh, I love you, Mom." You know what I'm saying? I really don't want to be there.
Well, then why do you be there then?
I don't know. I guess I have to. Well, like my mail comes to her house. I haven't updated my address.
Why don't you update your address?
Yeah, I need to do that. So I'm not wrong for feeling that way, right? That's normal?
No, that's normal. Now you're overcoming mama, and you're able to do what you want to do as a grown man.
Okay, because I felt like, man, is that still evilness in me? Because I do want to forgive her, like I told you last week. I want to forget everything and just love her as a mother, but I still resent her. And it makes me feel like I'm not doing things right. No,
what it is, you think the feelings and the thoughts you're having is the ego. Stop with that. Let that pass and just live your life.
True.
Yeah.
And yeah. You know, you remind yourself of that, like when you want to, but it's hard to do it for every thought.
I understand. But stay with it, and then when you forget to do it with every thought, eventually you'll start to see and catch every thought that comes, and you'll naturally know that. You know it's not you.
Oh, all right, Jesse. That's all I wanted to ask, really.
Yeah, but you're doing fine, man. Just know that those thoughts are all lie, and let them all pass. And the fact that you don't want to go up there now, you can see you don't want to be seeing your mama every week. You don't want to go up there hugging, talk about I love you, mama. The fact you can see that is the light of God allowing you to see it. But Satan telling you that is something else.
And I do struggle with that with my father, too. I haven't seen him. I called him. He hasn't answered me. I think he's really busy. But I mentally, I forgave him, but I still feel that resentment, too.
Oh, you haven't been able to talk to him yet?
No, I think he's going through some stuff. He had a wife, and they just divorced or separated or whatever, and he's finding a place. I've tried to reach out, but he's not answering me. I don't want to annoy him.
He just lost another God.
Yeah, my dad, he's a Pentecostal man. You know, he plays in church and everything. He's a really cool guy, but he is in love with women. I've talked to him about that, but
yeah,
he's a grown man. I can't tell him.
Well, just know that he cannot help himself, just as you and all of us couldn't at one point. And then knowing that it would cost you to forgive him if you don't get a chance to tell him.
Yeah. Well, that's all I was wondering.
Okay. Did you watch it?
I felt like resentment had to leave, but I guess it's normal to go through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you watch the fellowship yesterday?
No, I was working all day.
Make sure you podcast it at rebuildingtheman.com/church.
All right, I will.
It was all about these things that you and every human being feels, all about the thrill of it.
Man, I was listening to you say that, and, you know, it's actually had me questioning, like, why? Do you remember I told you I boxed?
You
Well,
box?
you probably don't, but I
Never
boxed.
ask a black man if he remembers.
Well, you know, I was wondering, like, man, like I said last week, I really do enjoy it, and it does help me. It gives me confidence. I still struggle with fear.
Stay close to your
but
phone.
I enjoy the process of being there.
Uh-huh.
What was that, sir?
Stay close to your phone.
Yeah, so I was saying that I do enjoy boxing, and as scary as it is and all that, it's great. But, like, listening to this morning, I'm thinking, like, do I even want to do it, or is it for my ego? Like, do I even care about fighting and all this other stuff?
Right on.
You know, it's an interesting thought.
will pay attention to what's happening inside of you, and it will guide you into whether you're doing it for the right reasons or not. It will correct itself.
Right. Yeah, the silent prayer, I notice it really does help us all that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an unspoken guider.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely,
It's weird, man. You helped me out a lot, honestly.
Well, stay with it. Stay with it. I don't care what situation come. You stay with the silent prayer.
Yes, sir. You have a great morning, Mr.
All right, buddy. You too.
All right, buddy.
Bye now. Amazing. 888-775-3773. Let's go out to Indiana and talk to a first-time caller, Gary. Gary, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you that, well, first off, I want to introduce, I'm Gary Warren from Newcastle, Indiana. And I was actually turned on to you by a friend named Tony Polite out of Northwest Indiana.
Yeah, but don't mention last names. Because people, yeah, but go ahead.
Yes, sir. And he had informed me about the silent prayer. And so I started watching. And not only have I been practicing the silent prayer, but I also forgave my mother. And that was one of the hardest things to ever do right there. I seen the negative spirits in her rise up so quickly and put a wall of division between her and me.
Yeah.
And I identified the negative spirits in her, and that actually helped my brother commit suicide as well, just a month before.
Yeah. That's amazing, man.
The walk's not been easy because, you know, I've been through divorce, bankruptcy. I was molested as a child. I was a pot smoker for 25 years. I was on Xanax for 28 years, and I stopped them completely the first of this year with God's help.
Amazing. And so so you were still able to forgive your mother, right?
Yes.
Nice. You're doing the silent prayer every day?
Yes, I am. Multiple times a day, yes.
Gary, stay with that, stay with that, stay with that, stay with that. And the light will get brighter and brighter and brighter. And he will bring you out of the darkness of the imagination. And you will see clearly that you don't have a past or future, that when those things happened, it happened then. It's not happening now. It is over, and you shall have life. It's going to be amazing.
That's great.
Stay with
it. Stay with it. And I could feel the light in the Lord's presence with me, with the peace that He's given me in this upsetting world that we live in.
Absolutely.
You know, God is real. And as far as disadvantaged people, I just wish that there was people out there that had the advantage that I had, a good friendship in the Lord with other people like Tony, Dale, Bob, and so forth. And these people have been in my life for almost 30 years. And just the guidance that they give me, and I'm able to accept, like the silent prayer, you know, it's been an awesome thing, because when I first started my journey, I was going to a full gospel church and going and doing all the motions, the singing, the hand raising, the speaking in tongues, and all that. You don't need that.
Nope.
The only thing we need is a silent prayer, our belief in the Lord, and like you said, live in the present, not the past or the future.
Yeah.
And it's just so awesome that I'm able to live this life, and I'm 53 years old, that I wish this for everyone else as well.
I do too, man. Amazing testimony, Gary.
Amazing.
Stay with it.
Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome, buddy. Call me again.
I sure will. Thank you.
Amazing. The silent prayer is at rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. All right, folks, welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Couple announcement. The Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. TheHakeReport.com. And at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. Hake is from 9 to 11. And then at Pacific time, and at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. Did you go for a ride with the American Anchor Baby this past weekend? If you didn't, it's not too late. Podcast the American Anchor Baby. It was amazing. All right? And then don't forget for personalized shout-outs, whatever they may be, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, congratulations. I do them for you at Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Encouragements or whatever. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And check out our merch at rebuildingtheman.com/store. Let me go to, there is a line open now at 888-7753-773. Let me go to Dan, our first time call out of Delaware. Dan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Dan.
How are you?
All is well.
All right, that's great. I wanted to talk about 9/11. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, it's a day that me, myself, and Norm MacDonald consider a national tragedy. What those Allahu Akbar people did was unforgivable, man.
So those who don't remember, it's the day of the November. I mean, it's the day of the 11th. This is when the Allahu Akbar people attacked the towers in New York and other places there on 9/11. That's been like what 10? How has it been 20-something years?
Yes. Let's see.
22 years.
2020, 23. That's like
22 years. That's
20,
amazing time gone by like that.
That's amazing. I would say that it's almost unforgivable that they took down those towers.
And why is it unforgivable?
I say it's almost unforgivable.
And why is that?
Well, because I can forgive because I learned through your teachings. You know what I mean?
Right. But the reason I ask because there is nothing that is almost unforgivable. All things are forgivable.
Right. So that's why I said it was almost unforgivable. But the thing about the planes is I feel like it's a metaphor for women. You know, that's Mother's nature crashing into the building.
Yep.
With the fire and emotions.
Yep. It's the same spirit, as you know, Dan, the same spirit that caused those people to do that. It's the same spirit that made all human beings treat one another in an evil way and treat themselves in an evil way. It's the same spirit.
Yeah, they kind of look like two delicious penises.
Amazing. 888, that's the same spirit that made Dan do that. It's the same one. He got a thrill from that. It brought a thrill for him to do that. He feels good right now. But feeling death, and he's calling it good. That's a perfect example of that feeling that we were talking about. That thrill. Satan had him do that. You know what? You need a thrill. Adish, there's a line open at 888-7753-773. Adish out of the United Kingdom. Adish, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you. How are you doing?
All is well, sir. How are you?
All is well. Yeah, so just wanted to thank you, and my life has been much better since I started doing silent prayer.
Right
but
on.
I had a question for you. I wanted to ask you. I'm thinking of breaking up with my girlfriend because I just realized that it's not good. But I just thought maybe I should talk to you, and maybe if you can help me.
And what's not good about it?
We started wrong. We had sex on the first date. So, and this was before I knew anything about silent prayer, or I wasn't even following God at all. But after I started doing silent prayer, and I realized that this was wrong. We stopped having sex, but then we end up coming together, and we break that all the time. And I think it's just tainted. It's just not good. So I think, and one of the main reasons I think, and that's the reason I want to take your advice, is that main reason that I want to break up is she's a bit old, and I feel bad because age is not in her control, but I would be rejecting her for her age. So I feel a little bit bad for her.
How old is she?
She's 31.
And how old are you?
I'm 32.
She's 31 and you're 32?
Yeah.
Oh, so she's not older than you, and you feel bad about her age. For what reason?
Because I think I'm going to have a family, and I wouldn't have kids right now because she comes from a broken family. She hasn't forgiven her father yet. She has resentment for her father. So I was thinking of giving her a couple of years at least 6-7 months to, start doing silent prayer, talk to her father. I already asked her to meet her father. She hasn't met her father at all her whole life. And I asked her to meet the father and forgive him. But I think it would take too much time for her to even get out of the conflicts that she's in. And by that time, I think it would be too late for us to have kids and family. So it's just impractical.
Oh, I see. So she's not ready to wake up, and you are working on yourself, but she will not work on herself?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, she's doing it because I'm saying it, but she doesn't have that. I don't feel that she really wants it.
Oh, okay.
Come inside.
Well, if that's the case, and you're sure about that, there is no reason to stay with her, because a man should not marry a woman that's not going to obey him.
I see.
And if you see already that she's not going to obey you, then you definitely need to walk away.
I see. If I ask her, will you obey me? I would say yes, because I see that she really likes me, but I don't think she would mean it. She would say it because I would stay with her, but I don't think she would mean that she would obey me.
Oh, okay. Well, once you see it clearly for yourself, you would definitely see what to do. But if you're not seeing it clearly, you don't see clearly what to do, don't do anything. Continue, talking to her, trying to
Same. So that's another problem. That's what my plan was. My plan was to let go and let God.
Yeah.
But she's saying, I'm 31. Can you make me can you give me commitment? And I'm like, no, I don't. But she says like, please. And I asked her last time, okay, she was bothering me too much. So I said, okay, just give me a week and I'll get back to you. But since it seems like I'm kind of cornered, I think I should just,
Yeah, you don't want to get married by being cornered or feeling sorry for her or thinking that, she's getting older, we need to rush it. You need to do it when you see that it's the right thing to do.
You're right. To be honest, I knew all these things.
I'm sorry?
I knew all these things, but I just wanted someone else to have no one to talk to about this. I just maybe thought maybe I should call you.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely don't want to, and you're right. The point you just made, everybody already know the truth. It's just that most people don't want to face the truth, but everyone knows it already. And so just follow that. That's why I like good fellowship, because people who are looking for the truth, want to know the truth, they have amazing fellowship together, testifying to one another, edifying and all that. So you're absolutely right. You already know the truth. So make sure you follow what you already see as the truth, all right?
It's just so hard to do it because she looks really nice, and I don't know. But anyway.
You say she looked really nice?
Yeah, she's beautiful.
But that's not going to make for a good wife or a mother.
That's true.
And so I do understand it. That's what it means to see hell and heaven at the same time. You're looking at this body and it look beautiful, that's hell. And then you have the truth side tell you, no, this is not the right one. That's heaven. So you're able to see hell and heaven at the same time. I would choose heaven if I were you, but it's up to you.
No, you're right. In fact, I told her that I definitely like her, but spiritually I have issues. So I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Yes. Sometimes even more.
Right on. Keep your mind where your body is, and you cannot go wrong.
Sometimes I question myself. Is it even, now you've been doing it for a long time. Is it at all possible to keep your mind with your body all the time?
Not all the time in the beginning, but if you stay, whenever you forget, just come back to it. And then eventually you will not forget and you'll stay with it all the time. But because you have been so identified with the not you, with the mind, it's still going to draw you in sometime, but eventually it won't.
And if you have time, I have one more thing to ask.
Okay.
I've been listening to your show because I just discovered you. Somehow YouTube have been hiding you from me, but somehow I found you.
Yeah.
But since I found you, I've been listening to you a lot, and I see that that's a problem. Like I've spent a lot of time because there is so much content. You've been working for years now, so you've made so many interviews. There's so much content there, and I just want more and more. And when I'm trying to stop it, it's not good for me to just keep listening to this YouTube all the time. So what would you suggest me?
I would suggest that you just watch what's happening inside of you. Don't listen to thoughts about that or anything. And if you just watch it, you notice it, it'll work itself out. The light will work it out for you.
Okay.
But if you stop based on thoughts and feelings, you stop it in the darkness. But if the light will correct it for you. It'll work itself out.
Fair enough.
Yeah, just trust the light and not the darkness.
I see.
All right?
All right. Thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome, man. I wish you well.
I wish you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. There's a line open. Eugene, a first-time call out of Canada. Eugene, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call, man. I kind of rediscovered you through, I first heard about you through your political work, and I found that really entertaining. But I had no idea that you did this service stuff for men.
Yes, sir.
And I found I really connected with it.
Nice.
But I do have a question. I really find your, I don't have any qualms with your suggestion to forgive your parents and to understanding that your thoughts are sort of like the devil talking to you.
Not sort of, but is.
Yeah, I understand all that, and I agree with you, but I still don't. I'm kind of in a place in life where I don't know what to do, like on a daily level.
Meaning that you don't know how to get up and go to work and
yes, like I don't know if you consider that practical or like your life's purpose or something.
To go to work?
Yeah, like I don't know what I want to do.
Meaning that you don't know if you want to go to work or not?
Yeah, like currently I'm not fully employed. I'm trying to work from home, but it's kind of going okay. It's not
right.
You know, I don't feel like I'm fulfilled and stuff, but I don't know if that's, again, like, to use your language, like, I don't know if that's like the devil talking to me.
Oh, I see.
You're not feeling fulfilled. Oh, you got to do this. You got to try this.
Well, it's not what you do that fulfills you, but it's who you are that fulfills you. So you don't know, you don't want to know what you can do. You want to know who you can be. And so when you do the silent prayer and watch, the abnormal nature is going to change to your normal nature, which is of God, and you'll become that. And in the meantime, you get up and go to work, buy your food, put gas in your car, and do what's in front of you daily, and you will become who you are. And that's when you would know what to do, because being who you are will cause you to do what you should be doing.
So is it like over time when your spirit is clear, like
right,
eventually you'll find your purpose instead of looking for it? It'll just kind of happen.
It will find you, without a doubt. It will find you because it's already with you. You just can't see it because you are identifying with the thoughts instead of with the light. With the light, you are identifying with the darkness, and so you can't see it. But eventually you will no longer identify with the darkness, and it will find you. But in the meantime, you just get up and do the practical things you should be doing because you got to survive on Earth, right? Like food, water, shelter, and stuff like that. Just get up and do that so that you can survive on Earth. But the real you will come forth when the not you disappears. So stay with the silent prayer and just watch those thoughts and let them all pass, except for the practical thoughts, but let all those other thoughts pass by, and you'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't like had that conversation with my parents, like forgiven them.
Why not?
But I just the opportunity hasn't come up. I don't think it's going to be a difficult thing. I just in my heart, I don't hold any resentment really, because I understand what you're saying about people. You know, forgive them for they know not what they do. Right? I understand that. Yeah. I just haven't had the conversation explicitly with my mother and father.
And
I understand that they are kind of damaged people and they tried their best.
Yes, absolutely.
I just haven't had the conversation yet. That's all.
And why haven't you FaceTime with them? Do they live near you, or you live near them?
I'm still living at home. Yeah.
You still living at home?
Yeah.
With your daddy and mama?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm old. I'm in my 30s.
What the? And so you don't see them every day?
I do.
Well, what do you mean you haven't had time then?
No, I didn't say I didn't have time. It's not something that I would bring up out of the blue, you know?
Why not? It's not going to happen unless you do that.
Yeah, I'm just when the time comes when I can have a conversation one-on-one with them, then I'll do it. But I'm saying I'm not really hesitant about it. I don't like when you talk to your mother, you were scared. I don't feel that afraid.
Right.
It just hasn't happened yet. That's all.
But why hasn't it happened if you live with them?
Because I don't want to just go up to them and start having this conversation that they'll be confused about.
But how do you know they'll be confused about it?
I guess it's just we don't talk about this kind of stuff every day. That's all.
But if you don't bring it up, how will you talk about it then if you don't talk about it?
I think I'm just if something leads to it, I'm kind of aware of wanting to talk about it. So I'm not trying to avoid it. It just we sort of deal with practical things every day. So we don't. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to steer the conversation towards that way unless it makes sense. Why not? It makes sense to you that you need to forgive them, right? Yes. Yes. And who are you waiting for it to make sense then? If it makes sense to you. I'm just saying that I don't want to suddenly out of the blue kind of talk about things that are, I can't really explain it, Jesse. I'm not trying to avoid it. I just don't want to force it at the same time. But force what? Force yourself to forgive? Just to have a conversation that it's because we don't talk about these higher level sort of things all the time. My mother and I never talked about higher level things, but I went and forgave her. Yeah, I mean, can I ask you, is it a short conversation? It's neither short nor long. It's something that you just do, and the words will come, and when the words are done, you just walk away. I mean, you'll be done with it. I guess my problem is I think I need to have an ideal situation, and that's not really realistic. Right. You're listening to the devil. And he's telling you, we don't talk high levels like that. Don't bring this up. They're just into the practical stuff. And you listen to the devil, and he's keeping you in the cave of hell. Yeah. Now, I know you had a strong reaction when I said I'm in my 30s. I'm still living at home. Why are you doing that? I don't know, man. I was living on my own for a while before, but I kind of I think I just wasn't taking care of myself properly. You can't get away from mama. Money. Yeah, something like that. Hold on. Can you hold, Eugene? Yeah. All right, hold on. 888-7753-773. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. 1 more hour to go. There is a line open. We'll get to your super chats and all of that when I come back. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
Novak won 24 Grand Slams now. The power of the pure blood. I disavow that. That's a communist, not communist. It's a white supremacist dog whistle. 24 Grand Slams now, not IHOP. And there's a bunch of hype around this 19-year-old black gal, Coco Gauff. She won a Grand Slam for the ladies. Nice. And auto union employees, I think they're going to go on strike or something. What a mess. And the manhunt is ongoing for that convicted killer Hispanic guy who escaped from that prison. He's the second guy to escape from that jail or whatever it is. Jail, prison, PA. This is the end of hour two. End of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Monday, September 11th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour 3. JLP will be right back to your calls. There is one line open you can call to get on hold, to get on air, and JLP will get to you. But first, Hake news, not fake news. After the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, the Hake Report. And after the Hake Report at noon Pacific time, American Anchor Baby. He had a nice show, sort of brief, cut short on Friday because of issues. But he had a good little run there. That was nice. Right on. Congrats to Novak Djokovic. Based Serbian Novak Djokovic won the U.S. Open on Sunday, according to Commie Nonsense Network CNN, defeating Daniil Medvedev in the men's final to extend his record Grand Slam singles titles to 24. The world's number 2 further cemented himself as one of the greatest tennis players ever. He now matches Margaret Court's record of most all-time Grand Slam titles. American woman Coco Gauff, she's that cute little 5'9" black gal. She rallied to defeat Arina Sabalenka in the women's singles final on Saturday. Celebrations stretched all across the United States because of that hype. Celebrities, fellow tennis players, and quote-unquote several presidents gave the 19-year-old black gal their seal of approval. She's the youngest American major winner since Serena Williams, who was 18, almost 19, way back in 1999. And I think Serena beat like a 16-year-old girl from like some European country. You electrified Arthur Ashe Stadium and the entire nation. Sleepy Joe Biden gushed on X, formerly known as Twitter, adding, anything is possible if you never give up and always believe. You made America so proud. Sick. Auto union employees strike. An auto strike will likely occur later this week, according to analysts and CNN, as contract talks between the nation's big 3 automakers and the United Auto Workers Union, so-called workers, guess they're not working if they're going to go on strike, appear to be stalled. The current contract between the union and the 3 automakers, GM, General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, which I guess is Dodge and others, all expire at 11:59 p.m. September 14th, raising the possibility of one or more strikes on September 15th, starting at midnight. The union has made an ambitious set of demands, including substantial pay increases and more safeguards for part-time workers. Experts say the strike could cause serious downsides for those currently shopping for a new Ford, Chevrolet, or Jeep, brands manufactured by Ford, GM, and Stellantis, respectively. And that manhunt for the convicted killer who escaped from a Pennsylvania prison has been extended after Danilo Cavalcante slipped past a police perimeter over the weekend and stole a van. 34-year-old inmate spotted more than 20 miles from where the police were looking, signaling he'd somehow gotten past the hundreds of officers searching in and around Longwood Gardens, about 35 miles west of Pennsylvania, where he'd been spotted several times in recent days. He had also changed his appearance and tried to contact past acquaintances, according to authorities. Pennsylvania police didn't believe Cavalcante has left the state. Law enforcement across the country is being kept apprised of the search. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. Third hour. Amazing. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Brand new biblical question for this week. Brand new biblical question. Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And by the way, if you missed fellowship yesterday, I highly recommend that you podcast rebuildingtheman.com/church. It was a gift from God. It really was. If you're out and about this today and you can't watch the show live, you can podcast later, but you can be listening no matter what you're doing. Anywhere in the world by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500 on your iPhone podcast, iPhone or iPad there. And don't forget to follow us on JLP Talk on Twitter and Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And we're going to get to your super chats and all that. You can, to have your super chats read out loud, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, and Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. All right, let me go quickly back to Eugene, a first-time caller out of Canada. And Eugene wants to find time to forgive his parents, even though he lived with them. I'm like, what the? And so we're trying to understand why he is still living at home at 30-something. Eugene.
Yeah.
And so why are you living at home at...
Jesse.
I'm sorry?
I was thinking over the break, like, maybe, my life is very comfortable,
Meaning what?
Like, it's just, there's no pressure to do much. That's the honest truth.
And you'd rather have a life without pressure and do nothing?
No, it's not that. I would love to feel like I'm just living my purpose every day. And, like, just, I can't wait to get out of bed and spend all day, like, doing whatever I'm meant to do.
But how will you get to that point as long as you stand under your mama's dress tail?
That's the brutal truth. Yeah, that's a good question, man.
And the answer is?
I guess you gotta keep doing until it happens.
But why is that even up for... I don't understand you being 30 years old male. I mean, how can you live with yourself staying with your mama at that age?
Like, I don't know.
Normally,
like,
that's what women do until they get a husband, right? But
yeah,
it's abnormal for a male to be at home after 18.
Oh, okay. I think honestly, Jesse, I think we've been conditioned to feel like this is normal in our society.
Yeah.
Because,
right.
You've heard of, like, the boomerang kids and stuff like that.
Yeah. And why do your parents let you stay? Your father, I understand your mama going to keep you there for a lifetime. But why do your father let you live in his home at that age? Why does he allow that?
I think if you had a conversation with my dad, you would understand.
He's a beta?
Yes. I don't like saying that, but yes, it's pretty obvious to me.
And why don't you like saying that?
Because, like, he probably knows that he's not living his purpose, too.
And so why are you allowing yourself to become like him? Because let's say, God forbid, let's say you stay there with your mama until she expires. All you're going to do is do what your father done. You'll find another mama to take care of you.
Yeah, and I know that's wrong, yeah.
And so knowing all that, why not go and forgive them and get out of there?
Yeah. There's like, should I just get any job and see where it takes me and not be too picky about it?
Why would you be picky about a job? A job is a job is a job.
Okay. I mean, I guess in the past, I probably had too many expectations for what my job is supposed to give me.
Yeah.
Which is what we talked about earlier.
You're working a job to make money to pay your bill, buy food, and keep a roof over your head. That's the only purpose for a job. His phone dropped. I think your phone dropped, Eugene. Call back if you like. 888-77-53773. Let me just get this in, and then I get to your super chats and more of your calls. Early in the first hour, we talked about my country is never going to come back, and it's being set up so that it doesn't return. And one of the ways, amongst many, that they're making sure that it doesn't return, they're putting women in charge. And they know that the woman was not created to lead, and they know that the woman does not have love, and that's why they're putting her in charge, because they want to make sure that the country never returns. And the world, it's not just happening in America, it's happening around in Mexico and everywhere. Mexico looks like it's going to have a female president. So it's happening all around, nothing but destruction. And it's happening because the men are allowing it to happen. If the men were to return to their normal nature, this stuff would end just like that. But they won't. They love their misery. They love their hell. They love being in an abnormal state of being. They don't even fight to overcome it. Some do, but not all. Some do, but not all. And as a result of that, these women are on a fake idea of power. And in that fake idea, hell is destroying human beings. And the hell in them won't let them stop. It's going to take the heaven in men to stop the hell in the women. But the men won't return to the heaven within them. Isn't that amazing? An example, Nancy Pelosi. According to Politico, she just won't quit. She loved the fake power. She loved controlling her husband. She loved controlling being in government position so that she can dictate what you can and cannot do. It gives her a fake sense of power. And wealth, of course. Politico is reporting that Nancy Pelosi isn't done yet. Have you seen San Francisco lately? Isn't she doing like such an amazing job of bringing hell into the earth? Politico is reporting that Nancy Pelosi isn't done yet. The San Francisco Democrat and quote-unquote first female speaker of the House told volunteers on Friday that she would seek re-election in 2024. And as long as Nancy Pelosi is there, this is what you're going to get. Watch this from Fox.
California Congresswoman and former House Speaker twice, Nancy Pelosi, has just announced she is running for re-election in 2024. She posted on X, formerly known as Twitter. Here it is. Now more than ever, our city needs us to advance San Francisco values and further our recovery. Our country needs America to show the world that our flag is still there with liberty and justice for all, she says in all caps. That is why I am running for re-election and respectfully ask for your vote, Nancy.
Amazing, huh? Have you noticed that San Francisco may be the capital? I'm not sure about this, but everybody and their mama on fentanyls, living on the streets. Thank you, Nancy. You're right. We need you to come on back and just destroy the country. Bring the hell through you into the world. And she said all the words there, right? And you know what's interesting about it? The people vote for her. Don't complain. You're getting what you want. You're getting what you deserve. You're getting what you pray for. You pray for hell, you're going to get hell. You vote in hell, you're going to get hell. You live in the hell of your imagination and emotion, that's all you got to get. That's all you got to get. And I understand, and I'm okay with it because I know most people love their hell. They love the thrill of hell, and they call it life. They seek it, and they call it life, but it's death. I want to give you an example of another evil, lying woman that hell is working through. All the wrong people in the right places to make sure my country never come back. And most people are not paying attention to what's happening. They're not paying attention to what's happening to them on the inside, and they're not paying attention to what's happening on the outside. Here's an example of another evil woman, a liar. You heard of Kamala Harris, right? Well, the Blaze has reported that so-called Vice President Kamala Harris sent mixed messages this week, dismissing concern about President Joe Biden's decrepitude. So she's dismissing it, right? But yet she goes on to say, according to this report, then stressing she is ready to take over should the need arises. So she's like, oh, no problem. But yeah, just in case, I'm ready for it. Watch this compilation.
First of all, let me say that our president has been an extraordinary leader who has accomplished things that previous presidents hoped and dreamed and promised they would do and did not achieve. A substantial amount of time we spend together is in the Oval Office, where I see how his ability to understand issues and weave through complex issues in a way that no one else can to make smart and important decisions on behalf of the American people have played out. The American people ultimately want to know that their president delivers and Joe Biden delivers.
Questions about the president's age often go hand in hand with questions about how he would step into the role, if necessary. Do you feel prepared for that possibility? And serving as vice president prepared you for that job?
Yes. I'm answering your hypothetical. But Joe Biden's going to be fine. So that is not going to come to fruition. But let us also understand that every vice president understands that when they take the oath, that they must be very clear about the responsibility they may have to take over the job of being president. I am no different.
Wow. It's raining outside, but she's telling you the sun is shining. As though you can't see that it's raining. She like Joe Biden has managed to accomplish things that no other president has ever done. Open borders, wide open. Fentanyl everywhere. Racists fighting against one another more than any other time. She's right about that. All the wrong people in the right places to make sure my country never returns. This is how they run their homes. This is why they need the father, the husband, the father there to guide them by his light, which is the light of God. But they all have it. The women go out of control. Literally out of control. They can't help it. There are some women now, and I see them on Sunday mornings and at the women's forums, and when I counsel with them, they're waking up to what's going on. Now, they can't wait on the man. They've found out that they can go straight to the Father themselves. And that's good. Another example of a woman, the wrong person, in the right place to make sure that the country, the state, the city only get worse. It's a spiritual battle, folks. It's an order to life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman. The Spectrum News. Somebody please tell me, what is the so-called Governor Kathy Hochul up to? They're in New York. Can New York get any worse? Yes, it can, and it will. The Spectrum is reporting that Governor Kathy Hochul signed legislation on Saturday declaring Asian Lunar New Year's a public school holiday across New York State. Watch this from China Consulate General in New York. Watch this.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, and on behalf of Governor Cuomo, myself, and the entire state of New York, I want to wish you Xin Nian Kuai Le, Happy Lunar New Year. Every year I've cherished the chance to participate in the Lunar New Year parades throughout our state. It's one of my great pleasures as I bring my Chinese American nieces to immerse themselves in this vibrant tradition of dance, music, food, and of course the red envelopes. We are very proud that New York State serves as a hub of rich culture and diversity and is home to more than 600,000 Chinese. More Chinese individuals live in New York City than any city outside Asia. And we recognize that our strength comes from our diversity, and that comes from the immigrants who have found their way here and built this country. That is why there is no room for xenophobia or hate in our state.
Wow. Is she for re-election or something? That is not happening in China. That is happening in America. But who can you blame? You keep electing these people. You love your hell. Murderers of the spirit elect murderers of the spirit. I suggest you pull away from the crowd and become an individual, folks. You're not going to make it otherwise. You won't be able to handle the hell that is coming up on this country. You won't be able to handle it. It's going to be shocking to you. You already can't handle the hell that's happening already. Stressed out, worried, scared, on medication for fear, or call it depression. You already can't handle what's happening. How will you deal with the things to come? And if you think that's something, here's more hell. These women need men to bring them out of the hell they're in. You know, you heard of Oprah. You told Harpo to beat me. That Oprah. All my life. That Oprah. With all the money it's been reported that she has, she still want more money, more money, more money. Breitbart reported that Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne Johnson, whoever that is, are facing backlash after urging the public to give money to help victims in the Maui wildfire. Watch this from Fox and TikTok.
And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they're dealing with some backlash concerning the charity that the pair started to benefit the people of Maui.
Last Thursday, Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson launched the People's Fund of Maui, asking people to donate the money to help those affected by the tragic wildfires. They started the campaign with $10 million, but the posts are receiving some major backlash on Instagram and on TikTok, with people criticizing the wealthy pair for asking fans to donate.
We were so concerned about what was happening in Maui that we were texting back and forth. And so we have created the People's Fund of Maui that will put money directly in the hands of the people who need it right now. So if you send a donation, just click where you see below and send a donation. That money is going to go to one of many residents who have been displaced in Maui. We guarantee.
That's right. With disasters like this, the number one need is money.
Is money.
In hand.
And all the people who were calling me and texting me and messaging me and saying, what do I do? What do I do? This is what you do.
Now you know.
The People's Fund of Maui.
Amazing. And Dwayne is fathering Oprah. He's sitting in the woman's seat while she drives. Where and how will my country come back? There's an order, folks, and it starts with you. It really, really does. And some people don't like to hear that the country is over. But not wanting to hear is not going to change it. It's not going to change it at all. What a mess. How about don't the people in Hawaii pay taxes? Where's that money? And why didn't they use the water, according to the report, to put out the fire? Why did it take Joe Biden so long to go there? And when he got there, he talked about his little house. What happened in his kitchen? All the wrong people in the right places to make sure they keep fear in you to destroy the country. The woman was not created to lead, folks. Why do you think the kids are so screwed up? If you think that's something, even in Mexico, hola! Even in Mexico, sí, señor, señor, no, señor, no, I confess, señor. According to the New York Times, Mexico will elect the first woman as president next year. I guess they haven't had enough hell yet. This is from CNN and Al Jazeera. Watch this.
A high-stakes political showdown in the Mexican capital has come to an end. Claudia Sheinbaum, former mayor of Mexico City, has been selected as the presidential candidate for Mexico's ruling Morena party ahead of the 2024 general election.
Today, democracy won. Today, the people of Mexico decided.
The selection of Claudia Sheinbaum, a close ally of leftist President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, means she will now go head-to-head against Xochitl Gálvez, a conservative senator from Mexico's PAN party, whose nomination was announced just weeks ago and whose nascent campaign is already growing in support. With the leading candidates firmly selected, the scene is now set for Mexico to elect its first woman president in the nation's history.
Even though there are many differences between them, they both support the criminalizing abortion, what happened yesterday. And Mexico is also the country with the second largest Catholic population in the Americas, 3/4 of its population identified as Catholic. But that percentage used to be well over 90% during most of the second half of the last century, Becky.
Wow. By Mexico, you're already having problems. You ain't seen nothing yet. And by the way, since we are down to, you see all those men up there praising the women. Oh, they're a better man than me, so let them take over. Hola, mamma mia. What a mess. And guess what happened according to AP? Since we are down Mexico's way, we might well stay there and deal with this. AP has reported that Mexico's Supreme Court threw out all federal criminal penalties for abortion Wednesday in a sweeping decision that extended Latin American trend of widening abortion access. Watch this from CNN.
The effort to decriminalize abortion in Mexico has been going on for years, especially in Mexico City, where abortion rights groups have taken to the streets to say, "My body, my decision." In fact, by the time the Mexican Supreme Court issued a ruling Wednesday decriminalizing abortion at the federal level, 12 out of 32 states had already invalidated laws banning abortion.
Our reaction was of pure joy and celebration. This movement that have been working to advance the abortion agenda.
In a statement, the court said that banning an abortion is unconstitutional because it violates the human rights of women and people with the capacity to gestate. Anti-abortion groups in Mexico blasted the ruling.
There are millions more Mexicans who are in favor of life, from the moment of conception until natural death.
Abortion rights groups say even before the ruling, Mexico had already become a destination for some American women seeking an abortion.
Before, Mexican women used to go to the U.S. to look for abortion services. And now Mexico, more and more American women are coming to Mexico for services.
And while no woman can be prosecuted any longer for having an abortion in Mexico, there are still 20 states where the procedure remains illegal. But the ruling paves the way for the federal healthcare system to start providing abortions.
Amazing. Kill the man children. Hello, evil. Now do you see all the wrong people are being put in place to make sure it doesn't come back? Thank God that he put the kingdom of heaven within us. Because those who want to escape evil, you can enter into the kingdom of heaven within. And despite all the evil things and stuff that's happening around you, despite your enemies who want to try to destroy you, you can have peace on earth. Perfect peace on earth. Right here, because the kingdom of heaven is within. For men and women. All people who want it. You can have peace in spite of it. Evil is so out there, it's hard to believe, folks, that human hearts are so wicked. But once you wake up and see what was happening inside yourself, you got to understand what's driving these other people. Pure evil. With the Christians and everyone, when the Christians tell you anger is good, well, they're telling you that evil is good. And they love it. When I come back, it's up to you. You can get off that merry-go-round and take the straight and narrow path, or you can stay on the merry-go-round and suffer and call it life. And tell yourself one day, oh, when I die, it's going to get better. I went back on that one. 888-77-JESSE. The treasure chest, by the way, is now open on D-Live. And I'll be back in a moment to your phone calls and super chats. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step with faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. The Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake, H-A-K-E, report.com. And then at 11 a.m., no, 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon Pacific time. And on Friday, the American Anchor Baby is at 4 p.m. Pacific time. But Monday through Thursdays at 12 noon Pacific time. If you need counseling, and we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven, by phone, Skype, or walk-in, family, individuals, whatever, go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-BOND to make an appointment, to set an appointment, all right? You can also make donations at that number as well, or at rebuildingtheman.com to support what we're doing, my nonprofit. Thank you. We're rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man for 34 years. 34 years. And don't forget, check out our merch at rebuildingtheman.com/store. rebuildingtheman.com/store. All right? Amazing. What a battle, folks. But you could be free in the battle. It's weird in a good way. It's interesting. It's a blessing. It's something else. In spite of what's happening around you, outside of you, around you, you don't have to live in fear. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities and wickedness in high places, inside of you and outside of you, inside of others. There's a line open at 888-7753-773. Let me go to Andrew, a first-time call out of Arizona. Andrew, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Andrew.
I'm really happy. I just recently started looking at your podcast.
Yes.
About maybe a month ago. I seen the one where you interviewed Dory Love, which is, I've been following him for probably 3 years.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was an amazing interview. And from there, I just started looking at your podcast. I watched one last night. It was the one with Dan Pena, I believe. And it was pretty amazing interview.
Oh, yeah, they were on fallerstate.tv, folks. Check that out, fallerstate.tv.
Yeah, I definitely started looking, searching for all your channels. I'm a Christian for 23 years already. I'm in my walk with Christ, right? I was going to ask you about I was going to ask you about women being emotional, right? But I don't want to get into that detail because I can already see how it's going, how the country is being run already by women and how they're making a big mess. But I got another question. Do you believe like a war with China and Russia is near for us with the United States? What do you think?
I don't know if it really will happen, but I do know that they want it to happen. Because if it happens, it gives them more so-called perceived power and wealth because the government, the people who run the government are evil, and they too hunger for power and wealth. So I definitely believe they want it to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but they want it to happen for sure.
Okay, and another thing, I know there's a lot of false prophets, and there's some real people, brethren and sisters that they have visions and everything about these sort of stuff, about wars. And the reason I'm commenting on it is because I don't consider myself a prophet, but I can say that I have had some dreams about that very specific thing about like an invasion in the United States by the communists, by China, Russia. And I had a dream last year that it was Biden. It was an attack during Biden's presidency. And then this year it was an invasion, but it was Trump as president. But I don't know, maybe I have those dreams because of what's going on, in the world right now.
I don't put much credence into dreaming because when you go to sleep and you're not conscious, you go unconscious, right? And in that unconscious state, you're just thinking about what's going on in the world, just as you did when you were awake. And so I don't put much credit to dreams because it's just an unconscious state for most people.
Yeah.
And like you see what's going on in the world around you already. Rumors of wars and people fighting one another and all kind of mess going on. So you could just be unconscious when you're asleep and thinking about the same thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Well,
when you
going back to the... Yes.
No, go ahead.
Sorry about No, I was going to change the subject. You were going to say something on...
When you say you're walking with Jesus, what do you mean?
A relationship with him, I mean, in the way that read the Bible, seek fellowship, with those who think like us, those who are Christians. And that's what I mean about that.
But how's that walking with Jesus?
Walking with Jesus would be like praying and...
you pray to Jesus?
Well, no, I pray to the Father. No, I believe in what the Bible says. It's God the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. We go to the Father through Jesus, and we ask in the name of Jesus. So that's what I believe.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes, actually I have, and she used to be they used to be Catholic heathens. That's what I call them, Catholic heathens, when they say they're Catholics but they don't go to church. And she actually, it happened like 4 or 5 years ago maybe, or a little longer, that she's been looking for God. So I think God used me to let her know.
So you went to her, forgave her for what she did to you?
She never hurt me, Jesse, or anything. I mean, I went and just preached, let her know about God and everything, but she never.
So she never did anything. She never did anything wrong.
No, she's been a good mother. She's more old-fashioned, like from your era, like more family values and those. But it was just that her religion was wrong,
And so when she was raising you, she made no mistakes?
Well, I mean, no, not really, because we grow up and we all decide our own decisions, right? We make our own choices. So I wouldn't say that she, I wouldn't ask if she raised me good or bad,
So
It's
she
just
did
that-
nothing wrong while you were growing up?
No, she did, everything was right.
And so did you
Yeah.
forgive your mother did everything right? She was perfect?
Yeah, I could say yeah. Well, when I misbehaved, she probably whooped me. But I was growing up.
But
yeah.
your mother was perfect?
I could say we're not perfect. They're not perfect, but she never did anything that I need to forgive her.
Your mother was
of anything.
perfect?
Yeah, I can say she was perfect.
Your mother was perfect?
Yeah, perfect.
Really? You the second person I heard who had a perfect mother. Have you forgiven your father?
Who was the first one?
Have you forgiven your father?
My father's he's still a heathen.
Have you forgiven
So,
your father
I'm-
for the mistakes he made with you?
Well, he raised us. I can't say he made a mistake or anything,
He was perfect
Does
as
that-
well?
Well, for him, I'll give him a no.
So your mother was perfect, but not your father?
Yeah, but not my dad. Yeah.
Really?
He's still struggling. Yeah, he's still struggling. But I mean, he took care of us and everything. So he's
So your father did what a father's supposed to do, but he was imperfect?
Yes, but he's not perfect.
But your mother was perfect.
My mom was perfect, exactly.
And so when God said that we are all born in sin, was he lying?
No, God's not a liar. So yeah,
so how
we're not
did your
perfect.
mama,
You're right.
how is it that your mama was perfect then?
You're right. You're right.
No, that was a
You're
question.
right.
How is it that
Yeah.
your mama was perfect if God
That
said
she's
we are all
not.
born in sin?
Yeah. She's not. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I was thinking about that verse when you were telling me.
So why did you say
yeah.
she was perfect?
I don't know. I just. But yeah, God said we're not perfect. We're not all
And
perfect.
so why
yeah, I
did you
agree.
say your mother was perfect?
Because I mean, she was a little nicer, not too many whoopings.
And why did you say your mother was perfect?
That's what I meant. My mom, my mom.
Why do you say your mother was perfect?
Because of that. I mean, she was lesser. She wasn't as mean as my dad. Like when you were a kid, misbehave. I mean, you wouldn't get whooped as much. So I guess that's why I might have said it.
And so who were you closer to, your mama or your daddy?
I would say, ironically, right now, I would say to both of them.
Who were you closer to growing up, your mama or your daddy?
Both.
You
both.
closest?
I can't say or my mom or my dad, but it was both.
Amazing.
Equally.
And so
yeah, because I hear like I see you talking about like how the family is important, how you grew up and everything. But yeah, I got to see that from my parents. They were both. Obviously, my dad was the leader, right? He always worked. He provided for.
But why are you mad at him then if he was?
Seriously, I'm not angry with my dad. I love my dad.
But
Yeah,
why?
but
You said you
Mhm.
need to forgive your father because of things he did.
Well, I don't think I need to forgive him. I just want him to like search for God because he doesn't believe in God.
He told you that?
Yes, and he cursed Jesus a long time ago. And honest to God, the next day he got a stroke and he hasn't been able to speak ever since. He's still alive and everything, conscious. And that happened to him. He actually literally cursed Jesus, and the next day he got a stroke. He's alive, but he can't speak. And but he understands.
Amazing. So you live on your own or you live with mama?
Well, I have my own house and everything. I'm 37. But yeah, I'm struggling, especially with the economy, with the jobs. Right now I'm unemployed, looking for a job. That's why I've been doing it. And obviously, yeah, I do get financial support from my parents, from my family, because it's hard right now. So, yes.
You can't take care of yourself?
Yeah, I can't take care of myself.
Are you married with children?
Oh, no, thank God, no.
And so, and you believe in God?
Yes, I do. I believe in God.
If you believe in God, you're single, you're no children, why can't you take care of yourself?
I don't know. That's a question I need to keep praying to God, you know.
So God told me to tell you, get 2 jobs and take care of yourself.
Amen. That's what I was going to say. That I was going to ask you for some advice. Amen, Jesse. You beat me to the punch.
Get another job, Andrew, and stop relying on your parents so you can take care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You know. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Call me again.
I enjoy this. Yeah, have a good day. Bye.
All right, buddy. Amazing. Super chat. Super. There's one line open.
Super chats.
Before we get to the super, while Hake is coming in, let me go quickly to Carl. Carl, welcome to the show.
Hold on 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, I gotta.
All right, hold on, Carl. I'll come back to you. We'll do the super chat. Let me know when Carl is ready. There's one line open, 888-77, Jesse. No Hake.
Okay, well, we got...
What happened to Hake? What the... Okay, go ahead.
From Coffee Talk with Sandra with a diamond. Hake rocks.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Amazing.
Hake is late. A super chat from someone who bought a coffee. Russ, I had a lot of anger too. Loving the hell in imagination. This is referring to your caller from the first hour. You must forgive so God can give you peace. I assume he means forgive you. Peace comes downstream thereafter. Stop trying and just be, he says.
I don't quite understand. Unless Russ just playing with me, I don't think he really want help.
Yeah.
Because he'll ask, but then when I tell him, he'll get upset about it. Why ask if he really don't want it? But I wish Russ well. Thank you.
Riley JM bought a coffee. There was this girl who told me that men are just made of dirt, but women are prime rib. She was all proud and boasting of herself. I was about 8 years old at the time, so was she. I didn't know what to say to her, so I said nothing. But now I would know to say to her, women, you got that prime rib from a man. You're welcome.
That's right. When they say the prime ribs, they're right. Where did your rib come from? What the? Thank you.
And thank you, guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Amazing. Thank you, Hake.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it. And thank you all. Let me go quickly to Carl. Let's try Carl again out of Idaho. Carl, let's try it again.
All right, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, perfect. So, my question was, I'm trying to forgive my mom because I've been watching you and everything, but the only problem is I live in a different state than she does, and she's hearing impaired, so she can't talk on the phone. And I was thinking I could FaceTime, but I just don't want there to be a miscommunication and her be completely confused.
You don't want a communication because...
Yeah, I don't want her to basically not understand what I'm saying.
Why not?
Because I've never thought about forgiving my mom just because, I was mama's boy, and I wasn't close to my dad, but I am now. But, yeah, so I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to just text her because that's really the only communication I have.
Right. And so,
But I
are
was
you
thinking,
able
what
to?
if I wrote on cards?
Are you able to FaceTime with her?
Yeah, I'm able to FaceTime with her.
But why not do that then?
Well, she can read lips, but I want to be really clear. I want her to understand me. It's like I have to be in person with her, so I don't know if I should just like write it on cards and kind of show her and then talk at the same time.
So I'm a little confused. So if you face,
going to town. What was that?
I'm a little confused in that if you FaceTime with her, she read lips, so she will understand what you're saying, right?
I mean, yes and no. It's tough for her to understand. She'll think you're saying something else and go off on you. And I just don't want that to happen. I want it to be a very clear message to her. And
the reason you think she might react that way, is she already reacting that way when you communicate with her?
It's more like she'll think you're saying something else, and then I go, hold on, mom, look. And sometimes I have to write it down and show her.
And that's because she's almost deaf, you
That's
say?
because she's deaf, yeah, she can't. And both my parents are, but my dad, he can talk on the phone and hear me, so it's easier with him.
Right. Oh, okay. And so you're concerned. Why don't you give it a try and see what happens first on FaceTime?
Okay.
I wouldn't do what you want, but I wouldn't assume that she's not gonna understand. I would give it a try. And the most important thing is that you understand that you have forgiven her, right? And whether she understands it or not, it's up to her. There's nothing you can do about that. I would give it a try rather than assume it is not going to work for you.
Right. Okay. I had one more thing to talk about.
Okay.
So, you're always talking about anger and all that stuff, and I was watching one of your videos, and you were out and about, like, at some kind of rally, and there was this girl and this other guy, and I don't remember what it was about, but you were like, you're stupid. Oh, you're stupid, or you're acting stupid, and you kept and you looked kind of angry, so I thought it was funny, but I just thought it was interesting because you kind of look different from, when you're doing like an interview or something. Did you feel anger in that moment?
Not at all. That was a march for, it was, if I remember correctly, it was a march for our lives and the 2A rally, I believe, something like that. And anti-Second Amendment. And I was just giving back to the liberals what they do. I wasn't angry at all.
Okay, because I was like, what the?
What the? No.
All right, man.
No,
well, I appreciate you taking my call.
And you're welcome, but I wanted to say this. When you overcome the anger, you're going to see, too, that you can speak up and feel nothing about it on the inside at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
Yeah. But give it a try, Carl, on FaceTime just to see what happens, and then you'll be done with it.
Okay, and I'll give you a call back sometime and let you know how it goes.
Yeah, let me know how it went.
All right, brother. You have a good day, man.
You too, buddy. Amazing. You overcome the anger, folks. Don't love the thrill of anger. It's evil. It's just a thrill. It does nothing good for you at all. It's like a thought is just a thought. It does nothing for you. Let me go to, oh man. This hour's up already? What the? So look, I'm out of time. Here's what I want to recommend. Make sure you podcast yesterday's fellowship at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. Become your own man. Become your own woman. Get on that straight and narrow path. Do not be afraid to stand alone. God is with you, and you will start to see that, and it will change your life. Do the silent prayer. Rebuildingtheman.com/prayer or silentprayer.video. Either one. Do it. Get serious about your life, folks. It's going to get worse. The human heart is evil. Evil runs deeper than what you can even imagine. And a lot of people are suffering from evil and calling it good. Thank you for your super chats. And to the phone callers, David from Oregon and the rest of you guys, I'll be back tomorrow. It is Country and Western Tuesday tomorrow, the Lord is willing. And the creek don't rise. But get on the straight and narrow, folks. It's going to get worse. You haven't seen evil yet. You've seen it, but it's going to get worse. Have a good one. My time is up for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Check out the Anchor Baby at 12 noon, the Hate Report right now, and I'll be back tomorrow. Amazing.
Must know that's so you get something went wrong, but check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. We got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understanding the lose? You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if you don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. Must know that's so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why do you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.